Hear he. The circus is in town. The masochists have arrived. It's the debut of our new show. We were going to save this until when training camp started to kind of get into the swing of the new season. But last weekend just gave us so much damn content, we can't resist. We cannot wait until August to start doing this. So this is the debut of our new podcast. I run the channel. I'm John. He's Mark. He's a Giants fan. He's a masochist. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm also a masochist, as you can tell, over the last half a decade, and we both suffer in different ways. The Giants never win. The Ravens win, but not the games that really matter. So we both torture ourselves in different ways. But we are beginning this podcast so we can vent about the teams that we hate. So we're going to get this kicked off right away. So wasting your time. The Ravens, up first. They blow it again. Sunday night, last game of the regular season. Winner goes to the playoffs and wins the division. Loser goes home. The Ravens look like they're kind of in control for the first half. Then the defense completely falls apart. Lamar Jackson turns it up and throws 2 clutch touchdowns to Flowers. They drive down the field, needing a field goal. They get into field goal range. They center the ball. The Steelers can ice them 44 yards. Tyler Loop hadn't missed a kick from under 50 all year. So, of course, wide right. 90 wasn't even close. Season over. The Ravens finished 9-8. And as of about 30 minutes ago, we have reports that there are potential staff changes on the way, and it doesn't seem to involve the guys who need to be moved. So if you want to get your thoughts off first on this godforsaken Ravens team, go right ahead, and we'll get an idea of where to start.
Yeah. First of all, the Steel, like, that was some of the worst clock management I've ever seen out of Mike Tomlin. Like, I think they were out of timeouts before like 3.5 minutes. Like, it was well before. Yeah, it was like well before the 2-minute warning.
There was 5 minutes left. They're at the goal line, and they burned it. They burned their last time out.
Yeah, and Rodgers was freaking out because they couldn't get the snap off. But, I have a hard time blaming kickers for losses like this. If the defense played better to any capacity, it would have been fine. But I think the fact that the Ravens had such a golden opportunity right there. Boswell missing the point after. Boswell doesn't miss
never
point after. I think that was that his first of the season?
I think so. I might be wrong.
He couldn't have missed more than like 1 or 2 before that, right?
And it didn't look like he was gonna miss until after he saw the ball veer wide. Like, it looked like it was gonna be good.
Yeah.
Luke kicked that ball.
Oh,
the second it took an inch to the right, I'm like, he missed.
He said he knew he missed.
And this is where it gets into my what's the word I'm looking for? My doomerism as a fan. Because am I a bad fan for thinking this? Isaiah Likely, for the first time in Lamar Jackson's whole damn career, he needed a teammate to step up to the plate, and he did. Zay Flowers gets the ball, who I love, AFC Championship, quarter of an inch line, fumble. We're driving down the field to take the lead against Buffalo. Mark Andrews, fumble. Need 2 points to tie it. Mark Andrews drops the ball. Defense. I've never seen a defense be so bad in clutch situations, even when Mike McDonald was here. And that's going to be a talking point of this segment because the Ravens had the smartest men in the building, like Tampa Bay with Liam Cohen. They let the smartest men in the building walk away. The teams that took them are thriving. Baltimore and Tampa Bay are out of the playoffs because they want stability. The most overrated trade in all of sports, I'm now convinced. Look what stability has gotten the Buccaneers. They're a mess. They won 2 games in like the second half of the year. One of them was the Cardinals. The Cardinals, who are 3-13, and one of them was the Panthers, and it didn't matter because they didn't make the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
They're out here losing to the Dolphins and the Saints because they want stability. If they have Liam Cohen, they're in the playoffs. And if the Ravens have Mike McDonald, they don't have one of the worst defenses in the league. But even when they had McDonald, the only time I can remember this defense making a stop when they needed them to was when Odafe Oweh punched the ball out against Kansas City in 2021. You remember that? They gave the ball.
I don't remember that, but
36-35. Chiefs are winning it with the field goal. They're like at field goal range. They give the ball to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Rookie Odafe Oweh punches that ball out. Ravens recover. That's it. If it's under 5 minutes, you need a stop. They never get it. And this was the first time Isaiah Likely, because that ball was up for grabs, and that was not an easy catch. Likely hands out, sacked up, makes the catch. It's the only time I can ever remember a Lamar Jackson teammate really going out there and making the play happen. 44-yard field goal, and you're not even close. So I don't – and the ball was centered The ball was centered for him.
Yeah,
The
it was
Steelers
perfect
couldn't.
center.
The Steelers couldn't ice him because they burned all their timeouts with 5 minutes left in the game. So Luke couldn't sit there with his arms on his hips to collect his thoughts for a whole minute, which can mess with your mentals. And it was 44 yards where you haven't missed all year. It was set up perfectly. I give, obviously, from one human being to another, all the death threats being sent out and all the comments made about his fiance, that's whack. We none of that's cool. We don't condone any of that. From one human being to another, I wish him nothing but the best. As a kicker, that's pathetic. And I give in situations like that, I give almost no grace to kickers. You have one job.
Yeah.
I don't want you getting death threats if you miss. That's not cool. But it's a 44-yarder and the ball is centered. That could not be easier. And for those people saying, we're going to get into John Harbaugh and the coaching staff in a bit, but for people who are saying they should have run another play and burned the last time out, shut up, please. Do us all a favor and stop talking. Do you really trust the Ravens not to make a backbreaking mistake? Do you really trust them not to fumble or not have a holding penalty or the illegal formation? Because I see that a dozen times a week. Oh, back him up 10 yards. You don't trust them to do that. You center the ball, and it's 44 yards in 2025. That is a chip shot in today's game. 20 years ago, get a little closer. Kickers weren't very good 20 years ago. But 2025 was the third most accurate kicking season in NFL history. 2023 was second. Kickers are as good as they've ever been. If you look at those accurate kicking seasons of all time, they're all in the last decade for the most part.
Yeah.
I think 2013 is number one, but every other year it's a recent year. No later than 2017. 44 yards should be light work. Cam Little drills 65 yards in his sleep. I mean,
2013 was that. Who was the Broncos kicker? Was that Prater?
Matt Prater. He 64-yarder.
Didn't he? Yeah, okay, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Did he?
And I think Tucker went.
Did he?
I think Tucker
scoring.
I don't know. I know Tucker went 6. I know Tucker went 6 for 6 against the Lions. I don't know if you remember that. They won 18-16 with 6 Tucker field goals, and he made a 61-yarder to win it. So I'm not going to give John Harbaugh any grace other than that. But tell me they should have run another play. They would have fumbled. There would have been a bad snap. There would have been a holding penalty. There would have been an illegal formation. Would have backed him up, and they would have been screwed. And then they'd all be calling John Harbaugh idiots for wanting to run another play.
Yeah.
Spare me.
And the 3 yards they would have gained on a run and the 2 yards they lost on the kneel would not, like, it wouldn't have.
He would have missed that kick for 30.
Yeah, it wasn't not a good.
He wasn't close.
It wasn't a good kick.
Again, you saw that kick veer right. I'm like, he missed.
It's, if it makes you feel better, I was watching that game with a few friends and I called both misses.
And that leads into my.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to this.
I kind of got carried away there. Am I a bad fan when Luke went up to kick? He's lining up. I'm like, he's not making this. In the back of my mind, I can sometimes get the vibe if a game is going to go well or not.
Me too.
Let me go the other way. The Broncos game last year, we beat them 41-10. Even after Bo Nix caught a touchdown, I never really felt like we were going to lose. I felt really comfortable about it, and it was a blowout. This game, I'm like, the vibe, he's missing. But I didn't say it out loud, because if I say that out loud, I'm like, oh, he's going to miss. My mom was watching, she's going to be like, really? It's 44. Have an ounce of faith. So I'm not going to sit there out loud and be like, well, he's missing this kick. We're going. In the back of my mind, he's not making it. It's what you do. The lights are too bright every single year. The lights are always too bright. They were too bright in the championship against Kansas City. They were too bright against Buffalo in the playoff game. They were too bright against Week 1 in Buffalo this year.
Yeah.
They're too bright every single time for everybody. I think only last year Lamar Jackson has kind of gotten over the big game stuff because he had a triple-digit passer rating in the Buffalo playoff game. He was really good when he was healthy and available. Then he came back from injury and struggled. His worst games were like against, I guess, the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are good, so that's not a big game. The Chiefs are worse than the Ravens are, so that's not a big game.
The Chiefs were terrible this year.
But Steve Spagnuolo just has his number. He knows stuff. He runs the double blitz, and the Ravens can't block anybody, and we can't pick up a blitz to save our damn life. Yeah. We have the worst guard duo in the league. When Chris Collinsworth said that Daniel Falele is an integral piece of this, I about threw something at the television.
I didn't even hear him say that.
You didn't hear it? Yeah, Chris Collinsworth.
No.
Here's a guy, Daniel Falele, an integral piece of. I would have smacked him in the face.
I don't hate him as much as as most people.
My mom
But
cannot stand him. She hates his guts.
He
And then
can get
later,
annoying, but I don't
later he goes,
dislike him.
The Ravens, you look at their veteran target, look for Mark Andrews. Oh my God. Mark Andrews,
Yeah,
we're doing this. He had one
he's
catch.
terrible.
Zay Flowers led the Ravens in receiving yards this year with 1,200, despite some of the slander of
Yeah.
him on Twitter because he had a lot of fumbles. He's a very good player. Next best is, I think, Andrews with like 400.
Yeah.
Zay
It's
Flowers
funny.
is
I was
our whole. Rashad Bateman was a ghost all year. I don't know what his
yeah.
deal is. He didn't
I
do
forgot
anything.
about him.
And
It's funny. It's funny you talk about Andrews and and Flowers because I was in 3 fantasy leagues. I had Flowers in one, Andrews in another, and Derrick Henry
yeah,
in the other
didn't
one.
win anything.
And in week 1 against Buffalo, Henry and Flowers had like crazy games, and Andrews
still
had like
lost.
a catch. He had like one,
One catch.
like 1.4 points or something.
Just like in every playoff game, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then against the Steelers, it didn't do anything. Against the Bills, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he's rewarded with a 3-year extension. Which what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was
If there's
that
one
was
position,
stupid.
if there's
Oh,
one
it was
position,
3. It was 3. I thought it was 2.
I
thought
it
it
might
was
be
a 2-year.
It's 2 or 3. If there's one position where I trust the Ravens,
Didn't deserve it.
there's one position where I wholeheartedly trust the Ravens staff to evaluate, draft, and develop with precision every single time, and it's tight end. Mark Andrews, 3rd-round pick.
He was good. He was good. Yeah.
Isaiah Likely, I think, was a 4th-round pick. I think Coleman went in the 5th round. They're all good players. Dennis Pitta went in like the 4th round. He's a very good player.
That's a name.
We drafted Darren Waller.
That's a name I haven't heard.
We drafted Darren Waller, I think, in like the 6th round. And he was dominating camp, and he didn't make the team because he had problems that he had to get right. But once he got right, he was one of the best tight ends in the league. And we're giving Mark Andrews a 3-year extension.
Yeah, that was stupid. But to go back, you're not a bad fan for being pessimistic. I think that's just basic psychology. People just assume the negative outcome in a lot of situations. And something else I wanted to touch on, because I was saying earlier that I have a hard time putting all the blame on kickers. I should say, of course, it's their one job, but I'm saying like the Ravens had so many opportunities to just close that game, and the Steelers receiving core is just so, even with DK, it's not good. It's so bad.
Your mainstay corner got sunned by Adam Thielen.
What's Tavon Austin's real name? Miles off. What's his name?
You're thinking of
that
Calvin
guy.
Austin.
Yeah, Calvin.
Calvin Austin's hurt. He's hurt.
No,
and your DB, Calvin Austin played through an injury. 3rd and 10, your DB fell.
Okay, yeah.
Shadobi he fell.
Yeah.
I mean, Murphy's Law.
They had that. They were running they run like 4 tight ends. It's like also I just want to say, I don't think, besides the how many years were Bell, Brown, and Roethlisberger together? Like 3. If that, how many?
Not many. Brown got there in 2011. I think Bell was a couple years after that. And Bell had injuries. Le'Veon Bell got injured a lot. I think they had 3 or 4 prime years together.
I thought Brown was a rookie on the Super Bowl team, on the team that lost. That team that lost.
He was, but Bell wasn't there yet.
Yeah, Bell wasn't there yet.
And Brown didn't break out until year 4. He had a huge catch against the Ravens in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it before. It's 3rd and 18. Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown has this big moment. And then TJ Houshmandzadeh. Oh, by the way, another Murphy's Law. 4th and 10. Ravens need it right in the hands of TJ Houshmandzadeh. Drop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but so I want to talk about the potential coaching changes and whatnot. I have never been entertained watching a Steelers game outside of when Bell and Brown were there. It's so binary and boring. You see, especially on defense, defensive tackles dropping back into coverage.
They play like it's the 80s.
They play like it's 1978. It's I
think this year is their best offense since Ben left. Because
Probably last year.
We
Like,
joke about Rodgers. He's playing better. I mean,
no, he is.
His last game was the best he's looked since like 2021.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. The Ravens defense making every quarterback look the best they ever have against our defense. But Rodgers looked great. They did that without Metcalf. I mean, Metcalf's a great piece.
He is. And people criticize, but like I think the Steelers' offense is just not that good. Like I still think Metcalf's a good player. I just think that they're not. Yeah, he's a great player. The play calling is just not great. I think that the Steelers are kind of outdated. And what I wanted to say was and I don't even think that this might save Tomlin's job per se, but I think that the loss is kind of the best thing that could have happened to the Ravens. This Ravens team was not good. Like there was no vibe of like an underdog story coming in. No. Like this wasn't like a 2010 Packers, a 2011 Giants. This wasn't like Ravens. This wasn't 2012. This wasn't like when the Rams, when they won the Super Bowl, were like the 4 seed or whatever. And it's like, oh, they're a really good team. They're just lower seeded. This was not this team was not going to win a Super Bowl. I think Houston, a heartbreaking.
Houston would have beaten us by 4 touchdowns. That game would have been over at halftime.
Yeah,
they will beat Pittsburgh.
Did the Ravens and Texans? They did.
Yeah, it was 44, right? It was 44-10.
Yeah. The Ravens got killed. Lamar wasn't playing. No,
it was Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush. Yeah, exactly. That's $3 million flushed down the drain. That made us go, hey, let's go get Tyler Huntley back, and he looked way better. He beat the Bears.
Yeah, he did look way better. Yeah.
Houston, that is the coping me talk to you, because we're going to get a better draft pick. We're picking 14th overall, which is the highest since we picked Hamilton a few years ago.
Yeah.
The Ravens cannot delude themselves into thinking that this was a successful season, because it wasn't. If we had won that game, won the division, and then got killed by Houston in the first round, hey, we won the division, made the playoff. You can't do that. They had a losing record and missed the playoffs. There's no kind of workaround.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have, and let's be real, I will be stunned if the Steelers beat Houston. I think this team is their best. I think this is the first Steeler playoff team post-Ben that's not like a joke. Like last year, the year before, they were a joke. No one thought they were going into Buffalo and winning. They went to play Kansas City, they got killed. I think I wouldn't give them a 0% chance of winning. Like, I think this team is functional and they're competent. They won 10 games. I mean,
it's still Aaron Rodgers.
We joke with the 9-8. We joke about the 9-8 Super Bowl. They won 10 games, and they had some pretty good. They beat Detroit. It's not like they suck, but I don't think they're beating Houston. They won not. Houston started 0-3, and since has gone, I think, 12-2.
Yeah.
They're the hottest team in the league, and their defense.
They're good.
I saw a stat. The Texans.
I'm a Houston believer.
I am too. The Texans don't run like adjusted coverage. Like, they don't audible. I think I saw a chart.
Yeah.
About how often you like adjust your coverage before the snap. The Texans are at the bottom. They're just like ball up top. Stop us, and you can't move on.
Yeah.
They're my favorite kind of defense to watch, because they just hit you, and you can't. They don't adjust at the line of scrimmage. They just hit you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't think they're beating the Texans. I wouldn't give them a 0% chance. But then, as for the game. There's one more bit about the game I want to get into, and then we can kind of talk about what's up next, what should they do, what will they do. The other thing I want to tell people to shut up about, okay? Because I don't see anyone actually unironically blaming Lamar. I thought we'd have to have that discussion, but he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have 2 go-ahead touchdowns at 50-plus yards in the fourth quarter and lose anyway. First in history. You can't make that stuff up.
That's a niche. That's a very niche stat, but that's a crazy stat.
That is the quintessential Lamar Jackson stat.
That's insane. Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into that because I don't think I have to.
Yeah.
But people who are saying you abandoned Derrick Henry in the third quarter, he had 3 carries. Guys, he had because they're like, he had 120 rushing yards in the first half. Half of that was 2 carries.
Yeah.
I almost lost my notes. About half of that was 2 carries, and we spent like the entire second and third quarter giving it to Henry on first down and getting 2 yards.
Yeah.
And it's not because Henry's not good. He had 1,700 total yards this year. We can't block anybody.
Yeah. The guards, the interior linemen, their bombs okay, but or good. He's good. That's not what I mean. He's good.
Left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, he's good. He's a good player. He was the Ravens' worst lineman last night. And that's saying, or not last night, it was 2 days ago. He was their last lineman on Sunday. And that's saying something.
He had a pretty bad penalty, right? He had like a few.
Highsmith sunned him like twice. On the interception, where the ball got ricocheted up in the air, Stanley was to grab it, it bounced off his hand into TJ Watt's chest. I think Stanley just completely whiffed an assignment. And then on the touchdown, Lamar threw the flowers. He broke Highsmith's sack, just ran past Stanley. Voorhees, left guard, 7th-round pick. He's terrible. Linderbaum is a good player, but he had a down year because he has to make up for the guards.
Yeah, he's getting. Yeah,
Falele, I'm not going to. Everyone knows how bad Falele is. I'm not going to go into that. We know it's terrible. We know it's ridiculous that the Ravens keep trotting him out week after week. Emory Jones got some reps on Sunday because both guards at one point got hurt, and he looked better. What is he? What is Harbaugh not seeing?
Yeah,
and then Rosengarten,
it's so like
Rosengarten sophomore slump. So that's why Henry, he didn't have as many OMG Henry games. Like the only I think Henry had 2 games where people are like, this guy's unstoppable. Buffalo was managed to lose, and then Green Bay. And then the Buffalo game, which we managed to lose.
Yeah.
15 in the final 5 minutes. First team in history to lose that game in regulation. Because of
course. The Linderbaum thing. The Linderbaum thing, it's a very different comparison, but I guess that's the equivalent to how I've been still supporting Baker through this second half of the season. Like he just had no help. Like it was just like nothing. Yeah, it was depleted and he got fried.
No Evans or
Godwin. Yeah.
Bowles is out of his depth. Bowles is a nice guy. Yeah, Bowles is a smart guy, but he's out of his depth.
Yeah, Cade Otton, like he's a fine tight end, but you can't rely on because it's Igbuka, and then who fell off kind of, and then Cade Otton, no bucket. So it was like kind of that, but back to the Ravens. I think it's time to move on from Harbaugh. I think it's been time for a while.
It's been time.
But what I wanted to say about this loss kind of being good is that it will hopefully push to some kind of change in the Ravens, or like a large change, like a bit, not like a quarterback's coach, not like an offensive assistant, head coach, DC, OC, like something that big. And I know you were saying before we started recording that the OC is not the problem. It's Harbaugh and the DC, but you know what I mean. Just some kind of something change, just a big change. And I don't think Harbaugh should stop coaching. I actually think that
the Giants will take him up in heartbeat.
I would take.
The Giants.
I would take John
Harbaugh. We'll get to the Giants later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
You would love Harbaugh.
Yeah, I would love Harbaugh.
I think Harbaugh would be good for the Giants.
I think Harbaugh can still coach. It's just that, and the same thing with Tomlin. You'd need a change of scenery in some way. They're sick of this. Like it's the same thing year after year. These players and these clearly something is not clicking. Like
you saw with the Broncos with Elway. They finally moved off of Dan Reeves, got Mike Shanahan. They got over the top. And
they won.
I want to finish my point. We'll really pivot into the coaching big time. But my last thing, which is why I was saying, quit getting mad because they weren't giving Derrick Henry the ball. Derrick Henry spent 80% of the game getting 2 yards a clip. He had 1 or 2 big runs. Stop. Our offense being handicapped by not letting Lamar do anything. We let Lamar sling in the fourth quarter. We scored 2 touchdowns. 2 huge touchdowns. But I will pivot to coaching because you're saying and I was saying the time has come to move off of Harbaugh. But here's the harsh reality: the time to move off of Harbaugh was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah,
you had the smart.
I'd argue more.
You had defense. You had defense. Sean McVay in the building, and you let him walk away for stability. And this is the one bit of grace that I'll give the Ravens. You were 13-4. You were the 1 seed, and you were in the AFC Championship game. You were 2 wins away from hoisting Lombardi. I can understand why a team would be hesitant to move off their coach. I'll give you that. But here's the thing. I alluded to this earlier. It's proactive moves in sports that win championships, not reactive moves. It would have been a proactive move to tell Harbaugh, thank you for your services, but we're moving on. Feel free to stay with the organization as an advisor because you've been with this franchise for 16 years at that time. I think you've done great things, but it's time to move on. The Buccaneers, same thing. I alluded to earlier. They should have told Bowles, thank you for all your services. We're moving on. Make Liam Cohen the head coach. Who knows where they're at? Jacksonville scooped up Cohen. They went from 13 losses to 13 wins. Seattle made the proactive move by telling Pete Carroll, thank you for your services, but we're moving on. Scoop up Mike McDonald. They're the 1 seed with Sam Darnold. Obviously, Darnold's good. Like, I whiff.
He's gotten better. He's had a resurgence.
Good, but like, you that's not Josh Allen back there. Like,
no, he's a game manager.
And you're the 1 seed. In year 2 with Mike McDonald, when it seemed like you were just spinning the tires. Let's take it to another sport. Hockey. The Florida Panthers. They made 3 cup finals in a row. They've won the last 2 cups. You know what happened to them the year before they went on that run? They were the President's Trophy winning team. They were this fast, offensive-oriented team that would make comebacks. They were fun to watch. Second round, they faced a good goalie. They got stepped on. Florida is historically not a good franchise. They could have rode that goodwill forever, made the playoffs, and just rode on that forever. No, they said, we can't win the cup like this. And they traded their leading scorer to get grittier, tougher, and defense-oriented. 2 cups.
Yeah.
That's what wins in sports. And the Ravens blew it because they like stability. Every profession has an overrated trait. In politics, kindness is overrated. I think in today's age, you'd be better if politicians are meaner. And in sports, stability is overrated if all the stability is getting you is good but not good enough and a second round. So we can talk Harbaugh.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it was time 2 or 3 years ago. I was saying it was time like a decade ago. He
was on his way out.
But didn't they miss the playoffs? Because they missed the playoffs the year after they won the Super Bowl. They didn't make it in 2013.
Yes. Let me pull this tweet. Let me pull this tweet from Josiah Anderson, who I think is very smart. She's very successful in the industry, and I think she's a very intelligent person. But what she said yesterday on Twitter about Harbaugh really rubbed me the wrong way. And then we can kind of pivot to the roster, and then we can move on. Going to yesterday, she said, league sources have been anticipating potential changes to coordinator level in Baltimore. Someone replied and said, how many coordinators before you acknowledge the common denominator? That's a guy named Randy, who has like 70,000 followers. Shout out. She replies, and this is a real tweet. If this is in reference to John, let me say this. There are teams who wish they could have the foundation, the culture, and the consistency that John Harbaugh has built in Baltimore. Last night was tough. I get it. Life is tough, even when you are talented as hell. Trust me, I get it. Do not take for granted that Harbaugh is not only well-respected and well-regarded in the league, he is well-coveted. And y'all need to pay extra attention to the last part. Guys, the culture was Ray Lewis. The culture was Ed Reed.
Terrell Suggs.
That's the culture was set already. We hired John Harbaugh. We didn't need a culture.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis might be the biggest culture player in NFL history.
Yeah.
Him or Brady in terms of setting a culture. We hired John Harbaugh because he went 5-11.
Yeah.
With Brian Billick, so we needed a change. We wanted Jason Garrett, and he told us no, by the way. So we hired John Harbaugh. So for 5 years, we're successful. We're winning playoff games. Oh, you can't get over the hump. Oh, but what do you know? Here comes Joe Flacco, who turns into Tom Brady for a month. Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, Ray Lewis gone, Ed Reed gone. It becomes the John Harbaugh culture. The next 5 years. It's a 5-year window of post Super Bowl, pre Lamar. 8-8, no playoffs.
Yeah.
10-6, 6 seed, beat the Steelers. Played close to the Patriots, fell short.
I remember that. Fair enough. Year. Yeah.
5-11, 8-8 again, 9-7. No playoffs in those 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was
then
the stretch I was referring to. Yeah.
Right. Then Lamar shows up. He's the backup through 9 weeks, 4-5. And Marlon Humphrey and RG3 themselves have said he's 1 foot out the door. And as the story goes, Harbaugh goes to the locker room and says, "You've seen the reports. It's probably accurate. Make of it what you will. But if this is it for me, I'm going out on my own terms, and I'm riding with this guy." And he gives Lamar Jackson like a football. 6-1, win the division, forgive and forget. And now we're spinning the tires of being good but not good enough. So again, Josiah Anderson, I think she's very smart, but the culture was set already.
Yeah.
And as for that, if anyone's wondering why I keep looking down, we've seen reports also from Josiah Anderson that there could be coordinator changes like really soon. So just in case we get a live reaction, that'd be swell. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and make a quick pivot to the roster, because going into this season, we had a lot of discussions about how good this roster is. They were ranked, I think, the number one roster on paper with all these talented players. And people, as much as I think it's time for John Harbaugh and Zach Gore too, I respect Zach Gore. He was a good player. An injury cut his career short. It's move on. It's zone or die with Zach Gore.
Yeah.
Okay, zone or, get it? Well, the amount of times I see a quarterback throw short, they're wide open, we're playing 10 yards back. I'm like, guys, well, what am I seeing that you're not? Like, what are we doing here? I just listened to Harbaugh after the game go, Fale was actually really good. What am I seeing that you're not? Because I watched him stand there, do this, hold his arms out. He got beat in the first Steeler game. He got beat by a corner who's half his size, literally. Not figuratively half his size, literally half his size.
Mm-hmm.
Swing move beat him. What are you not seeing? But as for the roster, because everyone talked about how good this roster is, we could go down the list. Like, guys, this roster has regressed, and that is kind of the problem with the Ravens' philosophy. It's been draft and develop internally and pay to keep the internal guys around. Very rarely do the Ravens make big splashes in free agency. If you want to consider Derrick Henry a splash, feel free. But he only made like $9 million in year one. We weren't exactly opening up the bridge trucks for him. And then before that, it was probably Earl Thomas. You saw how that went.
Yeah, I remember that. I completely forgot Earl Thomas was on the Ravens. I completely forgot that.
I like to forget he was too. But
it wasn't that long. It was like 2 years, right?
It was 1 year. And then he
had 1 year.
Yeah, some things happened, and then he got cut.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the extension the Ravens have handed out. Rashad Bateman, internal. Travis Jones, internal, who's a good player. Mark Andrews, internal. John Jenkins, a 36-year-old who we gave $2 million. They're all internal additions. Ronnie Stanley, internal. You go down the list, you look at their pass rush. We're going to draft and develop. Odafe Owe, that didn't work. David Ojabo, that didn't work. Into Mike Green, time will tell, not that great of a first year. And that's the issue. The thing is, when you build like your entire team around drafting and developing, even if you're a good GM, someone on, I think his name's Benjamin Solak, he made this point, he kind of made it for me. Even if you're a good GM, you're going to have lean years like this. You can't hit in the draft every single year, even if you're good at it.
Yeah.
Eric DeCosta, who has an eye for talent, which is why there's people who want him fired. I'm a little iffy on it because the eye for talent is undeniable. But his prioritization of positional value is so off the board. We have an elite, the only elite player we have at a premium position is Lamar. Oh, but we have an elite safety, okay? We have an elite running back. Cool. You don't have an elite pass rusher. You don't have an elite corner. You spend $100 million on a middle linebacker, and he's regressed. Roquan Smith has fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
No matter how many Pro Bowls he can walk into, he's fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
But they have a safety and a running back.
Did he make the Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He makes it every year. He makes it every year. He's a lock to make the Pro Bowl. Just get his Roquan Smith. And he was great. For 2 years in Baltimore, he was great.
Yeah.
He's not great anymore. Some Ravens fans call him Rosempic. So
Rosempic.
Yeah, but it's a whole running joke. But the philosophy, I don't get it. You draft and develop internally, but you don't have elite players at premium positions. You can't block anybody. You can't sack the quarterback. I think the Ravens as a team had like 4 or 5 more sacks than Myles Garrett all by himself. I think we have 20.
Yeah, he also had a crazy year though.
If I'm not mistaken,
an insane year.
If I'm not mistaken, we had 28 sacks. Myles Garrett had 23 by himself. Our whole team had 28 sacks. Like you can't win Super Bowls if you can't sack the quarterback and you can't protect your own quarterback.
Yeah.
So if we have the 14th overall pick and we pick a defensive back, I want gone.
Yeah.
You have to take the hint after this year.
Yeah.
I don't think Eric DeCosta is a fool. I think he's a smart man. And I'd like to imagine he's watching this team going, oh, God, our line is terrible. Oh, God, our pass rush is terrible. Our corners, who I draft high, the safety, every time I watch Drake May or Aaron Rodgers just stand in the pocket all day, I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad we spent a first-round pick on a safety. I'm very glad our last 3 first-round picks have been safety, corner, wide receiver. Zay Flowers is a good player, but
Flowers. That
Come on,
was
guys.
that was a really stacked wide receiver class.
Yeah, Flowers is a great player. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I respect him a lot. All the stats, you have more fumbles than touchdowns. I don't care. He's a great player. But you have to address, you can't just draft and develop all the time. You have to,
Yeah.
I think with DaCosta, where he's getting it wrong, is you have to get more outside guys. I'm not saying you need to ship off all your draft picks for Max Crosby. I'm saying you should call them and ask and see what it's going to take and be willing to do it
Yeah.
if the price is right. Because you need
What
a
do
guy.
you think, or
You can't set the
what-
quarterback.
what do you think about, because you're like, you probably know more about this Ravens stuff than me, but a lot of people I've talked to and a lot of stuff I've seen online, some people think Lamar might want out if there's not a big change. Do you think there's any chance of that? Like, is it zero?
That's interesting. And after this, I think we'll pivot to the Giants. I can't reach into Lamar Jackson's brain and psychoanalyze him. But
Yeah.
I don't think Lamar Jackson is the type of guy to go to ownership or the GM and say, him or me, because I'm not going to die in this cell. People are saying Lamar should do that, and maybe he should do that. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person to publicly just demand, he's going or I'm going,
Yeah.
he can't win like this. I wouldn't be shocked if in Lamar's head he's going, I feel like I'm just spinning the tires.
Yeah.
And
Do you
the
think-
whole, does he want out? I don't think so. That dumb hit piece for the Baltimore Sun from Mike Preston, who has no credibility whatsoever, going, oh, you might want to go to Miami. Miami could take him in if they wanted him. With Tua's
They
dead
afford
contract.
him? Yeah. I
No,
was
they
gonna
can't.
say, yeah, they can't
They would
afford
need to
him.
they need to take on Lamar's contract and Tua's dead money. They can't afford it.
Yeah,
So even if
they can't
wanted
do
him,
that.
They can't. The only team Minnesota.
Like the
Minnesota
Raiders.
should be. If Lamar went on the trade block, which he won't, I don't think he's not going anywhere, and I don't think he wants to. When he requested a trade during the contract drama, it was a business move. Players do that all the time. Ray Lewis did it actually when he wanted a contract, and we were like, go in the free agent market and get what you think you're worth. You didn't get it, so he came back. And I think the last few years of his career. So with him, I don't think it's a get me out of here situation. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a, dude, I feel trapped. Like, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? I think the best roster Lamar will ever have was in 2023, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah.
So with my Ravens ranting out of the way, we can kind of pivot into our next topic of this podcast, which is your team, Mark's beloved love-hate relationship with the New York Football Giants and what they need to do this offseason. So the Giants finished their season, I believe, with 4 wins. 2 of them
4 wins.
With 2 of them were in week 17 and 18 where they didn't mean anything.
Against Geno Smith and Joe Milton.
Had they lost week 18 to the Dallas Cowboys, the Giants would have had the number 1 overall pick of the draft because the Raiders actually beat Kansas City on a 60-yard field goal from Daniel Carlson. But because the Giants won week 18, they fell to the 5th pick of the draft. And that leads to our, maybe you could say our stat of the day with this podcast. In the New York Giants' last 38 games, they've gone 8-30. 4 of those 8 wins are in week 17 and 18 when they have been long out of playoff contention and have been playing for nothing but draft positioning, and they're quote unquote losing by winning. And it sounds, Dable was obviously fired months ago, but it sounds like Shane is sticking around, and he'll have the same who the next head coach is. They're going to have another 5th pick of the draft. Since they won Super Bowl 46, this is their 10th double-digit losing season in 12 years. So the whole going on a late winning streak to establish a winning culture is clearly going nowhere. So with that, this segment is kind of going to be more about you and your Giants. So maybe we can start with the whole fan perspective and tanking bit. So as for the Giants, you now have the floor.
Yeah, so I'm being a Giants fan, like, it sucks. It's not as bad as being a Jets fan. So like, at least, like, it's a different type of misery because at least we make the playoffs every few years. We'll have like fun players. Like with the Jets, it's just misery. I'm old enough to remember the Super Bowls, so at least I have that. Like, there's worse teams to be a fan of than the Giants, but yeah, I'm anti tanking in the sense that I know that a team is not actively playing to lose. All those coaches want to retain their jobs. All those players want to retain their jobs. Like, I think I think this idea of teams purposely losing is silly, but that doesn't mean that as a fan, I can't be like I what I'm trying to say is I can be anti-tank and also be frustrated with meaningless wins at the same time. Like I'm not like actively rooting to like win, like he has to win these games. Like I am happy when they lose games at that point. But I know that the team's not actively tanking. Like nobody wants to lose there. So but still, you know, it's annoying, especially because we would have had the first pick if we just lost. But you know, that's not the case now, and we have to work with what we have. And then that now means I have to root for Joe Schoen again.
Now, I do
because
can I get this off real quick? I can understand some people going, you should fight for every win because you want to establish a winning culture. And
yeah, that's stupid.
I do think there is validity to that sometimes. Take the Atlanta Falcons, for example, who we're actually going to talk about a little bit here soon. They were 4-9 and won their last 4 games. It's not a big deal for them because they don't even have their pick. The Rams have it. But they went from 4-7 to 8-9. So I think for a team like the Falcons, finishing a season hot and ending with a passable record by their standards, going 8-9, I think that is something that could carry over into the future, long winning streaks like that. To have you go into the offseason going, okay, we can win games. Let's put it all together.
Yeah.
Clearly, the Giants winning these games in Week 17 aren't doing anything. There's no winning culture. In a month, maybe as soon as the season is over, the Giants are going to go, hey, we won in Week 17. We won Week 18. In a month, they're going to be like, ooh, at 4-13, we stink. Like, we're not going to think about the hot streak you ended on a month after the season. You beat the Raiders and Joe Milton. So
Joe Milton.
I guess my point is that whole winning coach thing is helping the Giants because it doesn't carry over. If you won the last 5 games and finish like with 6 or 7 wins,
the Saints too.
Yeah, but the Saints, whatever.
Saints.
That can have you going, okay, we're building something. Every year it's like, hey, we won Week 17. You're not building anything.
When I said that idea is stupid, I meant in regards to this Giants squad. Like it doesn't those were all good examples. The winning culture thing, it does not apply to the Giants. And before I speak about Joe Schoen, I'll take another sip of my Diet Pepsi. If you know, you know.
He told me about that like right before we started recording. I didn't know about that joke where Giants fans got a free Pepsi. So like 2-13, but we got a free Pepsi.
They were like, it was it was like the Joe Judge year. It was his last season. It was ridiculous, but
it was legendary.
Yeah, and you were talking about how I remember Sunday night we were going over some notes, and you were like, well, you know, there is the chance that they fire Schoen. I don't see how they, 4-13 is 4-13, and I was like, you did, you were saying like you were saying the 2 wins didn't save his job.
Oh,
that's what you were saying.
I did.
And I was saying they're not going to fire him. I knew that they were not going to fire him.
That seemed to be obvious as soon as they fired Dable. They fired Dable to catch. Well, yeah, you're right. What I was saying was, had they lost those last 2 games, I think Schoen would still have a job. I don't think.
That's what you. Okay, but either way, Joe Schoen is still the Giants' general manager, which now puts me in a position of having to root for this guy who has been incompetent since 2022, 2022 was a fun year. I was to this day, I'm still happy with that year. I don't regret what happened. It gave me especially all my friends who were Giants fans, it gave us something to root for. I went to a game, like a regular season. I always go to preseason games because they're cheap and it's like whatever and it's fun. I never pay full price for Giants games, so it gave me like a reason to go and root for my team. And it gave hope, DeBall, like Big Balls DeBall, they were calling him. We have this new kind of hot shot GM that put together a playoff team in one off season, and things were looking good. But then you look at the wins. It's like, okay, we beat the Titans by a missed field goal. Looked like the Ravens. We got them on kind of a bad day.
Which was those days that year. By the way,
that was a rough. There were just some other very close game. I don't think we beat. I think we went like
snuck by the Packers.
I think we went like 1-5 in the division, or 5-1. I don't remember, but we had a tie with the Commies. I think we lost both Eagles games, and I think we lost both Dallas games. Like, so in hindsight, the team sure they got 9 wins and a tie, but the team really wasn't that great.
And
they were fine.
Like 7-2-1, did they not?
They started like 6-1, yeah. And yeah, they started, and then they played some real teams, but they got together and they won a playoff game. They at least won. That was great.
They earned it. Yeah, that was the best game of Daniel Jones' career up to that point.
That was, and that was a fun season. I loved that season, but it's become very apparent that Schoen has made largely poor decisions. And Neighbors is great, but he has his injury problem. So who knows how long we'll have a great Malik Neighbors. Like he missed a few games his rookie year. He destroyed his leg. He tore his ACL this season.
If you want to look at a silver line, his Neighbors getting hurt, it was at least like week 3. So he's had the rest of this season. And he'll have the whole off season to recover.
Yes.
Maybe finish your tidbit about Schoen, and then there's something I like to say about him.
Yeah.
Finish.
Kayvon is good. I actually like him more than most. I think he's solid. Like, I'd want to keep him on the team. He does the job of kind of like an edge rusher enough. But Neal was a disaster. Banks is a disaster. He's like the corner 3, and he was a first round pick. Like, he's been really bad.
I thought he was going to be good. That didn't work.
I thought he was going to. I was so hot. I was so happy with that pick. I was like yes, like we got a corner. We got a legit first round corner, and he just has not. He just has not panned out. And now we're in another. We're in another position where we have to hope that he nails number 5. And I wanted him to be fired for like 3.
Yeah.
Like the year after the playoff season, after 20, yes. I was like, this. Yeah. I was like, that team was a fluke. Like, I knew that team was a fluke after I saw a full season. Like what we've seen post 2022 is what a Joe Schoen run team is.
And you shouldn't. And giving Daniel Jones that money was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't care if you had to pay him. No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was
$40 million a year. No.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was a crazy overpay. The only defense I'll give is that they had a late draft pick in a class in the quarterback class that like wasn't great, anyways. And that market 20. Yeah, who was.
That was Young, Stroud, Richardson, Levis. So,
yeah, that's what I mean. They had a late pick in a class that like wasn't very good, anyways. And if I remember correctly, the free agent market wasn't fantastic either. So they paid the guy that won the playoff game. Wait,
Lamar. He was on the market. No one won.
But he was, he wasn't.
You could have tried.
I guess we could have tried. Who knows? But
you wouldn't have gotten him.
But yeah. So now, like, I don't want to root against Joe Schoen right now because that means my team will do poorly. So I have to root for a guy who I know is incompetent, and it worries me because I've been seeing a lot of buzz that Kafka. I think Kafka stunk as the offensive coordinator, and now at the interim head coach. Like, sure, he got the 2 BS wins, but it doesn't mean anything. And I've been seeing a lot of buzz that he might not that he won't necessarily stay head coach full time. Although there are some people saying like it's not, the chance is not zero, but also that he might just go back to being the offensive coordinator. And it worries me because Schoen wants to prove his regime is legit. And so now that worries me about what head coach he will bring in.
Can I pull up the list?
Yeah.
Let's listen to this pristine list of head coaches that are on the Giants list. Mike McCarthy, which that wouldn't be terrible.
I'd take him.
Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula. Maybe.
He's Rams for good.
Antonio Pierce. Mike Kafka.
Yeah.
Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. What? Colts defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
And then
they're talking to Cliff. They're talking to Cliff.
They're interviewing him as we speak, actually.
Really?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you want to win? Like, do you?
Stefanski. They're interviewing Stefanski.
Stefanski should be the hire.
Stefanski should be the hire. I'd be okay with McCarthy.
As long as you don't let McCarthy overstay his welcome, I think it can work.
Yes. So it worries me because all of those names suck, except for McCarthy, who's like okay.
You don't
Stefanski.
Want
I don't.
You don't want the interim to keep his job after winning Week 17. The Raiders.
Yeah, because it brings me into my concerns about Dart. I think all bias aside, because of course I was on like the Dart and Scatabo fun train while that was a thing, and it was great. I believe in Dart. I think Dart can be our guy. I really do. I think he's a great mobile quarterback. He can make throws, but he has to work on his accuracy. He didn't have a true number one receiver. His tight ends aren't great, and he loves his tight ends. So I would love to see them bring in a legit tight end option. There's a lot of his good Kyle Pitts, the greatest ever.
Your guy,
fantasy king.
The Pitts Grid. He had his breakout in year 4. Year 5, not 4.
We could talk about Pitts during the Falcons bit, but I believe in Kyle Pitts. I don't think he's as bad as people say. I think he's starting caliber. But anyways, it worries me from a longevity perspective as a fan because I think we have found our quarterback. I think Dart could be the guy. I'm now worried that they're going, because this is a big developmental year for Dart. Sophomore year. Hopefully Neighbors. Yes, he'll have a full year of Neighbors. Ideally, Neighbors will be there week 1. Dart will have him week 1. Scatabo will be back.
They should.
And they actually have a good backfield. I like the Giants' backfield.
It's fine.
Yeah, Singletary's fine. Scatabo's good. But what I mean, it's a good 3-piece rotation.
Before we get into, we can dive deep into the roster. Can I get like one bit on Schoen?
Yeah.
Here's my thing with Schoen. First of all, I didn't think it'd be possible for a GM to be worse than Gettleman, but I think Schoen may have pulled it off. And that kind of leads into my tidbit of what makes a good GM. Because any GM, even if you're bad, you can hit on first-round picks. Malik Neighbors was the most anyone could have made the Schoen pick, or not Schoen pick. Anyone could have picked Neighbors. Even with Gettleman, Dexter Lawrence, 17th overall. That great pick.
Yeah.
And that's what baffles me.
Love him.
The Giants being so bad, despite having a few excellent players, makes Shen look worse because Malik Neighbors is a budding superstar. Dexter Lawrence might be the best in the league at what he does. With Chris Jones getting older, Dexter Lawrence might be the best run-stuffing interior defensive lineman in football. Dart looks passable. Andrew Thomas is a good, solid, above-average blindside protector at left tackle. Abdul Carter could be a superstar. Any GM,
I like Carter. Yeah,
almost any GM can hit on the first round picks. If you're picking the guys that are mocked pretty high and you just do what they say, you're going to get some star players if you're picking top 5 or 6 every single year.
Yeah, every year.
The fact that the rest of their team is so bad, they lose so many games because Schoen cannot hit on free agents and he can't hit past round one of the. Do the Giants have one player other than like Scadaboo, who even then he's played like 6 games?
Yeah.
Do the Giants have one impact player that wasn't a high draft pick?
That wasn't a high draft pick.
Who's the last one? Who's the last impact player for the Giants that was like a round 3 pick or later? And you're sitting here thinking, you watch the Giants, you're like, I don't know.
Probably like Wandale. What round was Wandale?
Exactly. I don't know. Odell, but that's first round pick. Everyone knew Odell was going to be great. Like, please. And
I can't think of like a sleeper pick that's been like.
And that's what makes GMs good. He never hits.
And the thing is that they thought they had. Yeah,
and he doesn't even always hit in the first round. Evan Neal is terrible.
Yeah, oh my God.
Thibodeau was fine. Thibodeau's a decent player, but he's not what you expect from a 5th overall pick.
What people don't talk about enough is letting McKinney walk.
Yes, he's excellent on the Panthers.
Like, why? You have like a Pro Bowl level safety.
And not paying anybody because you're not paying anybody.
Yeah.
But wait, they needed to clear cap space to sign their first round pick after winning 3 games. They need to clear cap space. Why is it here?
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any sense.
But that's about it on Shade. He's still here. You gotta hope he finds that he finally has a good draft. But now we kind of pivot into their offseason. You've kind of touched on Dart, but again, the Giants have the 5th overall pick. This isn't really an insanely stacked quarterback class, but people really like Fernando Mendoza. And if the Giants had the first pick, that's great trade bait. You wouldn't have gotten what the Bears got.
Oh, yeah.
You're not getting what the Bears would have gotten when they traded their pick to Carolina. You could have gotten something. So, we don't know much about we're not huge college football fans. We watch it, go Hokies.
Yeah.
But we'll get an idea as the draft gets closer. But in terms of positional value, what do you want them to do? Because you have the 5th pick again.
Yeah. So I'm honestly, I can't really I was pretty absent from college football this year. I didn't really watch a ton, so I don't know this draft that well. But I do know that it's a pretty good draft for secondary and offensive line, which I think are just kind of default positions the Giants can just draft and hopefully get value out of. But I saw one actually pretty interesting mock draft that stuck out to me. So Wandale just had his 1,000-yard season, and last year they extended Slayton. So that probably Slayton. So that probably means Wandale's not coming back. Unfortunately, he's a great slot receiver.
Another good player. And
yeah, and there were people who had the Giants going receiver in the first round at 5, which I wouldn't hate if Shane addressed these other foundational issues. If he puts a coach that can help develop, which is why I want Stefanski, because he turned a Baker Mayfield team into a 2-time playoff team. And he came in, he helped with Baker or whatnot. So I wouldn't hate receiver if Shane addresses right tackle, guard, center, secondary.
The whole line.
Which is a lot. Which is a lot. Yes, in free agency is what I meant.
Hey, Foley is available.
Okay. Who's available?
Foley. Well, give him a 1-year prove deal.
So, but I have no confidence that he'll do that. So I'm hoping they just draft the best available right tackle or corner, safety, defensive back. I think drafting a receiver right now would be pretty rough if they don't address those other positions of need in free agency. So
And we
receive.
forgot Brian Burns. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's great.
He wasn't he second in sacks to Garrett?
Yeah.
And they're still terrible.
Yeah, and they suck.
You traded for Brian Burns. Oh, congrats. You're real smart.
Defensive line, left tackle, and like running back are the only positions they don't need improvement at. Like literally
at 4 years.
Quarterback. I wasn't counting Dart, but you know what I mean. Like it's like it's another year where it's like we still need everything.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating to be a fan right now. I would.
And we'll pivot next after this, but like I don't see the light. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I don't either.
If you had a 2017 Saints draft where you hit on literally every single pick was a double at least.
Yeah.
Shane can't do that. Almost no GM can do that. Shane would have to just throw darts and maybe hit 6 bullseyes.
He basically needs to win the lottery with this draft. He has to make a head coaching hire that is not like safe or has any like he needs like the guy. No more offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator experiments. You got to bring in a guy who's been there, done that. You can't keep Kafka where he is. He can't be OC. He can't be head coach. You got to bring in some legit guys to develop Dart, because if Dart has another year like this one, I don't know what'll happen with it. Like the thing is, I'm happy with Dart's rookie year. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if the team stays this bad and incompetent, I'm worried about Dart's development, because he doesn't have the coaches or supporting cast to help him get better. Yeah, and he didn't have Neighbors this year.
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't have Neighbors this year. His number one receiver was Wan'Dale Robinson, and he was a 1,000-yard receiver.
And he was a second round pick, by the way. So he wasn't
He was a second round pick. Yeah,
he won like 43rd overall. He won like 43rd overall.
I forgot where he
early second round pick was a good player.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, I forgot where they drafted him. But
I would like to.
Yeah, it's like Jalen Hyatt is like the epitome of like everything that the shit. Like it's like, oh, this seems cool, and like
Darius Tony, please.
No, Tony was Gettleman.
Yeah, I know, but still, just please.
Yeah. That's a lot of early round receivers that just have not panned out. Think about it.
Look like Matt Miller with Detroit. All those wide receivers. The only difference is, as good as Malik Neighbors is, he's not Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Matt Miller eventually got. But I would like to give my kind of closing introspective on Dart, and then we can kind of move on to the next thing. Here's my thing with Dart. Obviously, he is a quarterback that really relied on his mobility and his athleticism, running around and creating plays. Some of it off script, some of it just running for yards. And maybe in Dart's subconscious, it is every play I have to fight for every single yard and hope I don't get hurt. And that kind of here's what concerns me about Dart. I feel like if he's running around all the time, he won't be in the league that long. All the injuries can add up, and it can really damage your upside in the NFL. But if he tries to cut out the running and become more of a pocket quarterback, what's the upside?
Yeah.
Like prime Geno Smith, like when Geno was good. So I feel like he has to use his running as a trait to be a good quarterback. But if he keeps getting hurt, he won't be able to keep running. And if he's not running, I don't think he's going to be very good. So that's where the concern with Dart comes in, because I think for the Giants, if you want to limit injuries, you need to be able to get players who can create chunk gains and can create positive yardage kind of just on the fly. A receiver who you can throw a screen pass to, make a couple cuts, get 10 yards. So you don't need Dart to be this crazy person every single play.
I'd like a center Uh, I'd like a big body tight end that's like a legit tight end and not a Theo Johnson, not Bellinger. I'd like to bring in like a really legit tight end for Dart. He loves his tight ends. If Wandale's gone, Slayton can't cut it at wide receiver too. I'd like to bring in a big body wide receiver too. And just I'd throw so much money at corners and like a legit safety. Because if Shane, because I think Shane is out the door if he has another crappy year.
Better.
So I'm hoping he doesn't throw money at the wrong people. Like I hope he doesn't overpay for like I hope he doesn't pay like an all pro level salary to like just a guy who can start at safety. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a desperation, which will screw over the team for years to come, which is just a cycle that I don't want to get into.
All right, so now that we've both gotten our vent sessions about our two teams out of the way, let's kind of start to pivot to the rest of the league, and then we could do our NFL playoff picks. So we want to have a quick part on Black Monday when some of the head coaches around the league have fired and what their potential direction is. And we'll get kind of the easy ones out of the way. The Raiders, first off, the Raiders. Pete Carroll, 74 years of age, won a Super Bowl, won a national championship. He's probably a Hall of Famer. He had an amazing coaching career, but it's over. I don't get why the Raiders hired him to begin with. They're the worst team in the league. And similarly to the Giants, because they have a few outstanding players. Genti has flashes of being a superstar and probably would be a superstar if he didn't get hit behind the line of scrimmage 80% of the time he got the ball. Brock Bowers is probably the best tight end in the league already. And I think there's a bit of a gap between 1 and 2. But that is a horrible team, and they have the first overall pick. So for a team like the Raiders, what's their vision?
I don't know. They need everything. They kind of like they're honestly the worst team has the first pick. The Giants are better than the Raiders.
Yeah, and
like
look at their coaches. Antonio Pierce, one and done. Josh McDaniels, I think he was around for a couple years, but that was I don't get why bad head coaches get second chances. Dennis Allen won 8-20 with Oakland, and then the Saints hire. Like, why?
Yeah, it was just like
Antonio Pierce has the motivation. Antonio Pierce can motivate guys, but he wasn't ready to be a head coach. Who knows if he ever will be? And the Giants are looking at him.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's gone. There's not much to talk about with the Raiders. Like,
they just need
they just battled my whole life.
They just have to.
They never won. I think they're the only team who have not won a playoff game in my entire life.
It's funny.
I was born in March of 2003. The Browns won their first a few years ago. The Jets won. The Jets have won a few, actually. Not just 2010, but they have like 4.
Yeah.
The Cardinal. I'm pretty sure they're it. Yeah, they're the only one. They don't have one playoff win in my entire. Or no. The Dolphins. They don't either. But they didn't fire the coach. Or I'm not talking about the Dolphins. Sorry, there were 2 teams.
I met a Raiders fan for the first time in my life in person the other day, and he's 30. I'm a few years older than you, and he remembers the Super Bowl run in 2002, and then it's just been downhill from there. They haven't won a playoff game since the 2002 AFC Championship.
That doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to the draft.
Because I feel like they really can't. I feel like
they can't hit on the first round.
I feel like people just forget the Raiders exist. I forget the Raiders exist.
I don't, because they're so bad. Every year, they're 3-13, they're 5-11, they're 6-10.
Yeah.
They had the 3rd overall pick. Last time they had a first overall pick, Jamarcus Russell. I don't think Fernando Mendoza will beat Jamarcus Russell, but time will tell. I give up Brock Bowers a third choice flip. But I guess we can get to one of the more interesting ones. The Cleveland Browns. I feel like every year there's a head coach fire that makes us go, what? Like Brian Flores, Mike Vrabel. We're like, why? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know if Stefanski getting fired makes no sense. I do think he got a really bad break. Being a 2-time coach of the year with the Cleveland Browns is a damn miracle. Okay? Yeah. Pulling it off twice. And the problem is Stefanski was undone by moves that were made over his authority. By moves, I mean move. Stefanski takes over. Year one, they win a playoff game, and they're one of the final 8 teams in the NFL. For the Browns, you won the Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
So you're able to win a playoff game in Pittsburgh, a team that has owned you since you came back to the NFL about 25 years ago. As of now, not then. And you go over a couple years. The next year, your quarterback is dealing with injuries. Baker's hurt. He's not the same. Oh, you missed the playoffs. Then the next year, you still don't have a quarterback. You missed the playoffs. You trade for Watson. He comes back rusty. He doesn't look that good. Then the next year, your offense doesn't look good because Watson can't play. Then he gets hurt. You bring in Joe Flacco, and all of a sudden, they can score points again, and they're winning games again, and they make the playoffs. Stefanski made the playoffs with 39-year-old Flacco. And shout out it's Flat Goat to you, by the way. Shout out to Flacco, but I just feel like the Browns' downfall isn't because of Stefanski, and I don't know if it's because of Andrew Berry. Obviously, we wouldn't have sources to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know how much of the Watson trade was Haslam and how much of it was Berry. I'm sure Berry had to at least be cool with it, but Haslam had to approve that too. And when that Watson drama happened, the reports were, all right, the Browns are out. We're not considering the Browns anymore. Is the Saints or Falcons? And then out of nowhere, Watson's going to the Browns. And we're like, what? Didn't he tell me no? And then it comes out, he's getting a fully guaranteed contract. And went, oh, that's why. It feels like Andrew Berry and maybe Haslam were talking to Deshaun Watson. He told them, I'm going to go somewhere else. And then Haslam was like, we have to get him. Fully guaranteed contract. And Watson went, I can't say no to that. Boom, here comes Watson. Whole franchise down the gutter. And that's not Stefanski's fault. It's not Stefanski's It's not Stefanski's fault that Watson is the worst quarterback in the league. So and who do you hire? We agree that the best coach available right now is Stefanski.
Yeah.
And
I think it is.
Like before it was probably Vrabel. Maybe Brian Flores.
Yeah.
I think Flores could get another shot. Maybe the Browns give him Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. So, hey, maybe that's a match made in hell. But it's the Browns. Do they really deserve much of our time?
Not really.
But I think there's one other team we can quickly go over, and then there's a team that you want to talk about in a little bit more depth. So first, let's talk about the Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon is out, which all the reports are saying that he was going to stay. And,
everything. And
then you blink, Gannon's gone, which to me is one of the more surprising downfalls in the NFL because Gannon took the Cardinals' job. Everyone was making fun of him because that video where he showed no motivation, he showed no excitement. It looked like he didn't want to be there. Year one, they're a competitive 4-13 team. They're really bad, but they really made you earn it. They played Baltimore that year, and the Baltimore beat them, and it wasn't like a nail biter, but you can tell that the Cardinals are playing hard. Like they're not an easy out, even though they're really bad. So we're like, okay, they're working on something. Then the next year, they win 8 games. They're making genuine progress. I'm going, Gannon's doing a good job. Through 2 years, I thought Gannon was doing a pretty good job. Same thing with Joe Judge. Through year one, the Giants were a competitive 6-10 team. Which for a team that bad, I was like, hey, Joe Judge ain't doing a bad job. And then off the rails.
And then it just fell off.
So I go into this season, I almost picked Arizona to make the playoffs. I'm really glad I didn't. The Michael Parsons, I had the Packers missing because I didn't really like the Packers. But then they traded for Michael. I was like, okay, they're going to be insane. So I bumped them up. And I kicked the Cardinals out. Because I thought you still have Kyler, MHJ can improve. The left tackle they drafted. Paris Johnson. I've heard I don't watch the Cardinals that much, so maybe I'm wrong. I've heard Paris Johnson's pretty good. And they added Josh Sugg to their defense. I'm like, they can get the 7th seed. And then McBride. I watched it. McBride, he's one of the probably the 3 best tight ends in football.
Yeah.
You blink and they're 3-13.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to fire Gannon out of that, but what do you do?
Yeah. I actually wanted to, because you said that Brock Bowers might be one, and then there's a big gap. I think it's Bowers and McBride. I think they're on the same. I think McBride is kind of insane.
He's number 2, definitely.
Yeah. But I think the Cardinals are kind of in a position where it's I don't think it's as bad as the Giants, but they need they have good players, but they need a quarterback. Brissett is Brissett.
Will Kyler Murray be a Raider? Will he be a Viking? Where's Kyler going? Will he be a Giant? I'm kidding.
I get Raider vibes from Kyler.
I do too. Or if Aaron Rodgers retires, he's a Steeler. Call it. You just pencil that in. Kyler Murray's a Steeler if Rodgers retires, which it sounds like he won't. But enough of the Cardinals. Now we'll go to the one team that you actually wanted to go into some detail with, Atlanta. So we talked about that during the Giants segment. They went from 4-9 to 8-9, and it looks like they could take some momentum into next year with a 4-game winning streak. And they, despite the hot end of the season, they cleaned house. Raheem Morris, head coach, gone. Terry Fontenot, GM, gone. Rich McKay, president, gone. And it is a full purge in Atlanta. They're bringing in a whole new regime. And you kind of brought this up, so I'll let you tackle the Falcons first. But in terms of their promise for 2026, what do you think?
I just got I actually just got a notification. The Giants are currently interviewing Stefanski.
That would be a good hire.
Yeah, that would be an insane hire.
The Browns requested to interview Todd Monken, by the way, just now.
Yeah, really?
Like 10 minutes ago. They requested Monken. But anyway.
I just think with the state of the NFC South, because I'm still not I don't think the Panthers are that good. Are like a great. They have a decent defense, and they've got
same record as the Falcons.
Same record as the Falcons. I think if Todd Bowles is the Buccaneers head coach next year, I'd be very comfortable with picking the Falcons to win the division. I like they have some great pieces. They got hot at the right time. I think Bijan's insane. Drake London's great. I actually the quarterback is going to be tough for them because when Penix plays, I don't dislike what I've seen, but I think 4 years.
I don't agree. I don't think Penix is. My thing is with Penix, I think his ceiling is kind of set. It's not set, but he's like a tree in the pocket. He can't move because he had so many knee injuries in college. He can barely run, and his accuracy, you don't love it.
That's what I mean. I don't. I don't. I was about to say, I don't dislike Penix, but they might need a quarterback because I think for what is this 4 straight year, something like that. He's had season-ending injuries. I just don't I don't know how long he could last in the NFL.
I don't know how long he can last in 2026, be a quarterback that has no mobility and not great accuracy.
Yeah.
He would have been a great quarterback in the 80s.
That's the big question because I think the Falcons have a pretty good defense. I think they've shown that it's fine. Yeah. I'm talking NFC South standards.
Okay.
I should say it's kind of it's a rough division, but I think that they have enough to where they could definitely win the division next year, especially if Bulls. I think the big threat roster-wise was the Bucs.
Yeah.
But Todd Bowles has proven so incompetent that, I don't I'd be comfortable picking Atlanta as a sleeper to win the division is all. Yeah.
All I'm saying is don't let the Saints have a good offseason. All I'm saying.
Yeah, that too.
Don't let Shuck get hot. Kelvin Banks and Tyler Shuck back to back. I think that single-handedly may have saved Loomis's job. That was an amazing 1-2 hit in the draft. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm saying. Don't let the Saints get hot. But as for Atlanta, the NFC South, it is kind of up in the air, and it just feels like their deficiencies are why they clean house. Maybe the Falcons aren't here if they didn't pick Penix 8th overall instead of getting any defensive player in the draft to choose from. They picked Penix too. I thought the consensus was a second round, an early second round pick.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go around too.
Or maybe pick Penix and don't give Kirk Cousins $180 million.
Yeah,
doing both.
Yeah,
and we're we're gonna have Penix sit behind Kirk Cousins for 3 years. Penix, he was 25 when they picked him.
Yeah,
there's so many injuries. So I don't disagree with the Falcons.
Yeah.
But it is a weak division. Liam Cohen being gone really puts a hard cap on Tampa Bay's ceiling.
Carolina's Yeah.
It's weird with Carolina because they beat the Rams and they beat the Packers. Like, they have some really good wins.
Yeah.
It's not like they stink.
Well, same with the Falcons. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bills. They beat, they went into Tampa and they beat the Bucks. Kirk Cousins, he's generally not considered a great quarterback.
But you lost to the Jets.
Yeah, but you lost
to the Dolphins. You got swept by the Panthers. Like,
yeah. So we'll see. It's a hot take. It's a hot take for a reason. And I should say, in any other division, I don't think they'd be making the playoffs. I'm saying with the state, I think like it. Would
Atlanta have won? Hold on. Would Atlanta have won the AFC North?
Maybe.
Cleveland twice. I guess they'd have to replace. I guess they'd have to replace one of the 4 teams. So that's They replaced the Ravens.
I think they could do it. Yeah, I think
they lost to the Jets. So we played the Jets and won. We and the Ravens. But I think that's about it on the Falcons. We can go ahead and get it to our playoff picks.
Yes.
Because it is that time of year. It is Tuesday. So in 4 days, the playoff, right? Because there's game on Saturday. Yeah, the playoffs will start.
Yeah.
So we will do our picks back and forth for the first round. And once we get to the divisional round, assuming our brackets are different, we'll finish it in full.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it for the podcast section of our debut episode. So starting with I think we can go in order. Let's go in order of when the games are played.
Yeah, let's start listing. Yeah.
So first up, we don't need to spend more than like a minute on this. Rams and Panthers.
I'm gonna pick the Rams.
I am too. Shout out to the Panthers. They had a good year. Dave Canales looks like a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
They deserve credit because they beat the Rams. Believe
they did beat
the Packers. They have some really good wins, and maybe the future is bright. They're not. I don't think the Rams are losing to them twice.
I think that the Rams will win because they lost that game. Yeah,
it is in Carolina. So hey,
it's in Carolina.
Don't let that home field advantage get you. Next, Saturday night, Packers at Bears. This is an interesting one. The old school rivalry. Both games were down to the wire. They split. You could argue the Packers should have won both games. But it's the 7 versus the 2 seed. It's in Chicago. I'm getting a lot of 2022 Vikings vibes from this Bears team. They're squeaking by a lot. I mean, they should. Yeah. I mean, when I say shouldn't have won, they really shouldn't have won that Packers game. They barely lost. They lost to the Ravens with Tyler Huntley, so that had me kind of doubting.
Yeah,
but they're winning like every close game. So I'll let you go first. Packers, Bears. What do we got? It's in Chicago.
I'm gonna pick the Bears because of home field advantage and no Micah Parsons for Green Bay.
No Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I give Chicago the coaching advantage. Ben Johnson he's the answer.
Yeah. Banged up Jordan Love.
Jordan Love off. He hasn't played in a few weeks. Maybe he's rusty.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I think the Packers have injury. I might be wrong. I think the Packers have injuries at wide receiver. I'll take Chicago as well. I think that game will be close though.
Yeah.
This is Green Bay's 3rd, 7th seed in a row.
Yeah.
So next, Sunday at 1:00, the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll go first. Here's the thing. I think the state of the league changes year by year. There are years where it's the year of the quarterback. 2023 was the year of the backup quarterback. Sometimes it's the year of the last year. You could say it's the year of the running back: Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Bijan.
Yeah,
I think this year is the year of the defense, and it's the year of the coach. Those are the teams that are winning. Buffalo's defense has no one that scares you. Buffalo's coach really doesn't scare you. A lot of Bills fans feel about McDermott the same way us Ravens fans feel about John Harbaugh.
Yeah,
the Bills don't have anyone at wide receiver that threatens you either. What they do have is an alien quarterback in Josh Allen, an electric running back in James Cook, and a good offensive line. They're relying on that to do everything. And I think in this state of the league, where it's about coaching, it's about defense, it's about structure, I really like Jacksonville, and it's in Jacksonville. There are some years where I would pick Buffalo just off of Allen. I'm like, they have the better quarterback. But over the last month, Trevor Lawrence playing up there with anybody. This is the best stretch of his career. Great. He's been fantastic. I'm picking Jacksonville.
Yeah, that Jacoby Myers trade really panned out.
he's been our best receiver.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been really good. I'm gonna pick the Jags. I like the defense. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think that the offense has been getting into gear. Their run game's been pretty good. I think Myers put them over the top. Strange is a great he's a good tight end. He's great for what he is. He could get the job done.
Which for tight end is all you need. I mean, really.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick the Jags. I think that the Bills defense is like horrendous. For what that Bills team needs, it's horrendous.
It's not good at all.
Like, it's a bad defense.
If you can run the ball, you can bully Buffalo.
Yeah, and they could run. They've been able to run the ball. Yeah,
you can just work them if you can run the ball. Unlike, except for Philly, because for some reason they only run inside and not outside. But speaking of Philly, Philly, for all their faults, still won the NFC East and have the 3 seed. So, it is the Eagles hosting the San Francisco 49ers. As the ultimate Eagles hater, go ahead.
I'm picking the Niners. I'm actually not like I don't think Jalen Hurts is horrible. Like, some people like trash on Jay. Like, I think he's done enough to, be a starting quarterback. But I don't know, this 49ers team, they're looking good. Like, even though they lost against the Seahawks, but they lost to the 1 seed. There's no shame in that. This team has overcome a lot of injuries. Mac Jones was the starter. Yeah, was a starter for. Yeah, Mac Jones was the starter for a big stretch with Purdy out. And I think Fred Warner might be back for the playoffs.
I think I read the divisional round.
A divisional round?
Maybe.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Maybe, but even without Warner, I think I'd pick the Niners. I like how Purdy's been playing. I like their tight end core. Juwan Jennings has really, I think, turned into a, not great receipt, like number one, but like, he's a legit option. Like, he gets the job done.
He's a great piece,
He gets catches. He's not like, he doesn't drop the ball. He's great in the red zone. He's a great red zone receiver. And it's Christian McCaffrey.
And for this
the
pick,
Eagles,
we might go 6 for 6 on having the same picks, honestly.
Yeah.
Let me go back to what I said earlier. I think it's about defense and it's about coaching. The Eagles' defense is no joke. Jalen Carter's a star. They have their defense sometimes is what's keeping them in games. I mean, they've had a lot of low-scoring games. But right now, I think it's about coaching. And I think right now, Kyle Shanahan is one of the 2 to 3, maybe the best coach in the league. The 49ers are always injured.
Yeah.
When they're not, they're a defensive stop away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they aren't injured hell, they still go to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
I think Brock Purdy is earning that contract. He looked against the Bears. He was basically perfect.
Yeah.
Straight up. S-tier game against the Bears, who have a good defense. It's not like the Bears are going to let you push over them. And they look bad against Seattle. I think Kyle Shanahan will coach circles around Nick Sirianni. I mean, that is a coaching mismatch. I think Robert Saleh is going to humiliate Kevin Patullo. I mean, that might be the biggest coordinator mismatch of the playoffs.
Possibly,
Robert Saleh, hydrogen bomb, Kevin Patullo, coughing baby, like literally. So it's just I'm thinking the 49ers.
Yeah, that Eagles offense, like, it's even like
bad.
They're like,
they don't score.
Yeah, like, I don't like. Trust me, I don't like the Eagles, but to me, it's sad to see all of these superstars just not being used. Like AJ Brown, like Devontae Smith could be a wide receiver 1 on like so many and he's just like, he's not being.
Imagine what Ben Johnson would do with Devontae Smith.
Yeah, or like Barkley.
McVay. God, give McVay Devontae Smith. It's over.
Yeah. I mean, so I think we have the same picks. Yeah.
Yeah, because now.
Yeah, we have the same picks.
This is another interesting one. So Sunday night, Chargers and Patriots. I do like picks every week. I put them on my Instagram. I have picked against the Chargers like most weeks. More often than not, I don't pick them because I keep thinking, I'm big on due dates. Okay, I'm a due dates kind of guy, and every week I'm like, okay, the Chargers are due for a loss. They're eking by a little bit too much. They're so injured. Their offensive line is so bad, but they keep winning. They keep winning, except until they ran into Houston. Then they didn't get spanked, but
they
Houston
lost.
handled them.
Yeah,
and they're playing the Patriots. This is Drake May, Mike Vrabel, another one of the few best coaches in the league.
Yeah.
If we ever get to a time to talk about the Titans, I would love to just rip the Titans for half an hour because that is Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Mike Vrabel, gone.
Yeah.
So Mike Vrabel versus Jim Harbaugh is a really good coaching matchup.
Yeah,
it's really hard. I might let you go first again. It's really hard to get a gauge on the Patriots because they played such a weak schedule. I know it's kind of a beaten up talking point, but it's true. You got who they played. The Jets twice, the Dolphins twice. They stayed. That's 4 free wins.
Bills defense twice.
Did they win all 4 of those games? I think.
I'm not sure, but probably.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's pull up the Patriots schedule. So let's hammer home who they played. Because I can't hammer home.
Bengals, Giants.
So they played the Raiders, who they lost to, by the way. They lost to the Raiders.
They did lose to the Raiders,
But that was week 1. Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills again, Ravens, Jets again, Dolphins. I named what? How many good teams did I just name off? 2 or 3?
Yeah.
The Bills are good. The Steelers are a solid team.
A playoff team.
I didn't list one other good team.
Yeah.
I think this game is closer than the seeding indicates. I can see both 7 seeds winning. You go first.
I just think because even though he's had an easy schedule, even though the Patriots have had an easy schedule, Drake May is still playing out of his mind right now. Vrabel is a great coach, and it's going to be freezing for those Chargers. I know. So I'm still gonna just because of home field and Drake May. I'm gonna pick the Pats. I think that the coaching matchup is great. I don't think Vrabel is gonna necessarily out coach Harbaugh, but
that's just a coin toss.
Yeah, they're both great. So I'm gonna pick the home team for the potential MVP over the Chargers.
If the Chargers had a healthy offensive line, I'd pick them straight up.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Their offensive line is trashed.
If they had Alden Slater, if they had Alden Slater, they probably wouldn't be the 7th seed. But if they had Alden Slater, I'd pick the Chargers. With their injuries on the line, I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And so I guess we're going to be 6 for 6 on having the same first round picks. Texans at Steelers. We kind of talked about this earlier. I think I'll repeat myself a little bit. I think this is the best Steeler team since Ben retired. I think this is the Steeler team with the best chance of actually doing something in the postseason. But the Texans have won, if I'm not mistaken, 9 straight. Their defense is otherworldly. They don't mix up their coverages. They just hit you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
If the Texans' offense gets 24 a game, they could go all the way. I'm dead serious. I think this is the most dangerous. This might be the most dangerous Texans team going into the postseason of all time. Because in 2012, they were like 12-1 and were an amazing team. But everyone was like, they're not beating the Broncos. They're not beating the Patriots that year.
Yeah,
and
like 2 years ago,
like 2 years ago, it was a house money team. No one thought they were going all the way. They faced the better team and they lost in the second round. But
I like this Texans team.
We're both picking the Texans.
I'm taking the Texans. Yeah,
their defense.
Yeah,
I love watching them. It's the Texans and the Seahawks, whose defenses I'm obsessed with watching. They're a ton of fun.
I probably think the Seahawks defense. I know that the Texans defense technically is the number 1 defense, but I've liked what I've seen from the Seahawks. So,
but also the Texans have a worse offense. Like the Texans defense is leaned on more.
Yeah.
So we end up having the same first round picks. We'll keep going in order because the divisional round is the same for us. So our first second round matchup in this universe, assuming we're right, is not Chargers. Oh my goodness. Texans at Broncos.
Mhm.
That's another really, really interesting one.
That's a tough one.
The Broncos are kind of like the Bears. They've squeaked by a lot.
They've squeaked by a lot.
Oh my gosh.
They've squeaked.
I don't know. I think the Broncos have played 12 one-score games, and they're winning them, but the Jaguars walked into their house and took them to task.
Yeah.
They really did. Going into that Denver environment is difficult. Especially for an indoor Houston team.
That Chiefs game was ugly though. Against the Chiefs third stringer. I forgot his name. Yeah.
Olivkin or something? Chase Olivkin. Yeah. All their games are ugly. How many pretty games have they had?
None. So
I'm picking the Texans. Screw it. I'm picking the Texans.
Yeah. That's hard for me.
It is. I can see myself getting that one wrong. I'm picking the Texans.
I'm gonna pick Denver.
Okay.
Because I think that the Broncos defense will be able to handle the Texans offense more than the Texans defense will be able to handle the Broncos offense. I feel like there's been times where we've seen Stroud played really, really bad against the Chargers, for example, another playoff team. And Nick's I'm not anti Nick. I don't think he's great. I think he has a lot of problems. I think that he has good chemistry with Sutton and Mims. I think that they have a decent run game. And I would probably, because these are two these are two elite defense. I shouldn't say titans of what I mean.
They're not the Titans.
Yeah. I meant titan as in a powerful thing.
Right.
Yeah. But these are two great defenses, but I think that the Broncos offense could probably get it going more than the Texans offense against a great defense.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
That's just what I think.
Those teams that squeak by one score, they
crumble.
The clock struck midnight on the Vikings against the Giants. Yeah, right there.
But I will tell you this: I think that's as far as Denver gets. I don't think the Denver team is a Super Bowl team.
Right. So now
I think Denver's a Super Bowl team.
It'll be Seahawks 49ers again, round 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. We can kind of make this part quick. They played twice already. The Seahawks handled the 49ers in San Francisco. They played in week 1. And if not for our last second mistake, they would have won that game too. It's in Seattle. Yeah. They have the rest. Both teams are incredibly well coached, but the Seahawks have the healthier, more well-rounded team. I don't see how they guard. I don't know how the Niners are going to guard JSN again.
Yeah.
Give me the Seahawks.
I'm picking the Seahawks.
And that's kind of a...
Yep. I'm picking the Seahawks.
We just saw them play. And I know the Niners will adjust, but it's hard to adjust against another elite coach.
Yeah.
So after that, it is Jacksonville at New England.
Yes.
That's another interesting one. You go first.
I think that maybe this is the non-Patriots fan Northeasterner that has always been in me. I've always picked against the Patriots just for moral purposes, just because I don't like them. But I think I'm gonna take the Patriots. Despite I want the Jags to win. Don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong there. I hope the Jaguars win. But just May, Vrabel. Just they've been able to get games rolling. It's actually kind of funny. They have, because their defense stats wise is pretty highly ranked everywhere but the red zone. They have the worst red zone defense in the NFL.
Red zone offense.
I thought it was their defense. Wasn't it their defense that?
I believe it's the red zone offense. I think they're last.
Yeah,
Maybe the red
I
zone
thought,
defense is bad too. I could be
but
wrong.
I thought they had a bad red zone defense for
I'm
some
not,
reason.
I'm not sure.
Can you look that up? Because maybe I'm flip
Yeah.
flopping. Maybe I'm
We're
flip
running.
flopping stats.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let's just
I'm
just
picking
look it up.
Jacksonville.
You're gonna pick Jacksonville.
I think you're wrong. I'm picking Jacksonville.
I hope I'm wrong.
Vrabel's a good coach. I trust Liam Cohen to game plan for weeks. I think in a game
Yeah.
like this, it's good. It's going to come down to coaching, where the roster differences are relatively minute, right, in terms of
Mhm.
overall quality. The Jaguars are well coached. Their quarterback is hot right now. He's playing at a high level. They just walked into Denver and just smacked him around, which no one has
Yeah.
been able to do this year. Just beat
Yeah.
the Broncos up. I think Jacksonville is as dangerous as any team in the league.
Yeah,
I'm picking. I'm going for a Jags Texans AFC Championship, which is weird, but it's a good year.
I hope that happens. That'd be
And
ideal.
finally, it would be Rams at Bears.
Rams Bears. I'm picking the Rams all day, baby.
Clock strikes midnight on the Bears. They're kind of the Broncos. They've eked by a lot. I like Ben Johnson. Sean McVay's better. I like Caleb Williams. Matt Stafford's better. I like DJ Moore. Puka Nakuma's better.
Yeah.
I like the Bears defense.
Rams defense is better.
Maybe. But I don't. I think the clock strikes midnight on Chicago there. It's been a good year, but I think they have to wait. Which leads us to our. Now we'll finish off our brackets.
Yes.
Now they're different. I'll go first. We have Texans, Jags, and then Rams, Seahawks. I'll get it out of the way. I'm biased. Jaguar, Seahawks. I grew up in that Jacksonville, Yulee area, so I'm not a Jaguars fan, but I have a soft spot for them. And again, their quarterback is white hot. And maybe they'll just lose to Buffalo, and we can all look back at this and laugh. Maybe Josh Allen will score 50 points, and none of this will matter.
Yeah.
But Liam Cohen, I think, is the best coach in the AFC playoffs, and that's saying something because you have Vrabel, you have Peyton, you have some really good coaches. I think Cohen's the best coach in the AFC playoffs. I think they have the most well-rounded team. They're all in this field. It feels different this time because it feels like it's going to stick for Jacksonville.
Sure.
And I think they can crack Houston's defense enough because again, the Texans don't run adjusted coverages. They don't adjust their defense at the line. They just go ball up top. I think Jacksonville can solve that. And then for the NFC, it's in Seattle. I'm taking Mike McDonald. The Seahawks snuck by him the first time. Maybe the Rams are better, but the Seahawks are going to have extra rest because they had that extra week off, assuming they beat their first round opponent. Give me a Jaguar Seahawks Super Bowl and Liam Cohen versus Mike McDonald. It feels wrong. It feels wrong to say Sam Darnold is going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, but it's been a weird year. Give me Sam Darnold to hoist the Lombardi Trophy.
Sam Darnold picking the Seahawks.
I think the Jaguars may need another year. Give me Mike McDonald. Give me the Seattle Seahawks.
So I'm going to pick in the NFC. I'm going to pick the Rams just because they're going to have Devontae Adams back. They're going to have Adams back.
Right.
And I think that, McVay's been there, done that already. And I think he's going to get the job done there. It was a close game that Thursday night. And it was a Thursday night game, right? The crazy Seahawks with the weird. That was a crazy game. But I'm going to pick the Rams there. And then I am going to pick the Patriots to beat the Broncos. I think the Broncos offense will hit a wall against an excellent coach team. So I think it's going to be Rams Patriots, and kind of what happened in the 2018 Super Bowl, Rams Patriots Super Bowl, how Belichick just kind of outcoached McVay. Like McVay had not been that far before, and they just kind of fell flat. I think the opposite's going to happen. I think McVay, who's won a Super Bowl, will put a stop to a young, hot team like the Patriots and Vrabel.
All right. Well, that is it for the debut of the JSA podcast. Hopefully this is the first of many. I'm John. He's Mark. We're both masochistic football fans, and hopefully we can bring weekly episodes to the show. Here we'll hopefully soon we'll have YouTube Shorts content coming out. But for the end of our first episode, for those who are still here, what question should we ask the comments? It could be about anything. What question should we ask?
What was the worst take?
All right, what was our worst take? I'm sure it'll be me picking the Jaguars to go to the Super Bowl, but it's okay.
They got a good defense. Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence has been good.
Liam Coe is the answer. All right, so that is it for our debut. Ideally, we will see you next week for episode number 2. And with that, we'll see you.